fantastic. If I just break out with a song, is that going to be okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I feel like, you know when they do those, like, those people who are commenting on the Thanksgiving Day parade, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at the balloons! Isn't it great?
Are so beautiful. Oh
are you having fun?"
I'm having so much fun. How are your balloons?
My balloons are great. Yeah, I feel like that right now.
Yeah, no,
anyway.
it's a bit like that. The Macy's parade. It's great.
Exactly.
I still haven't managed to catch that in person yet. I'm hoping to at some point.
I've seen it once.
You have?
But years ago.
Oh,
so,
how good
yeah.
was it though in person?
But it's great, but
Yeah.
it's packed. It's super
packed,
busy. So,
yeah.
but anyway. We are here with the awesome, wonderful, superbly talented, and very beautiful Zoe.
You're awfully kind.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. It's been so long. So
Too long.
Like,
Too long.
I can't remember that. I mean, it's we were sort of trying to figure out when the last time that we actually caught up personally, and I think it's been too many years, and yet we've both got younger, so that's a miracle. I don't know how that happened.
Sometimes we just don't question miracles, do we? We just let them be.
We just let them go. But you have been super, super busy. The last time that I did see you, you weren't living in America.
No.
You were planning on coming over here, and now you are fully a Nashvilleian. You're in Nashville. You're doing the country music thing over here. How has it been? Because you've been a little bit all over the place. For those that don't know, Zoe, you're originally from Tasmania.
Tasmania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you ended up sort of back in the UK, doing a bit of things over there.
Lived there for nearly 7 years.
Right.
And then touring and playing and stuff there, and then ended up moving here just nearly 2 years ago. So it's been a bit of a journey.
A bit of a journey.
Mm-hmm.
Literally a bit of a journey. How has it been moving to Nashville and going, okay, I'm doing this, I'm putting everything into it, and
Honestly,
let's go?
One of the best decisions ever made. Because,
so great.
Yeah, I mean, you know, where can you come to a place where they just completely embrace you? Musically, you know, ideas, everything. You know, creativity is just here. It's the hub of creativity. For a songwriter, it's everything. So having been here, and also since I got here, I've been extremely welcomed, which has been so nice.
Yeah.
You know, the Southerners are just the sweetest people ever.
Oh,
And you know, you never expect that when you come to a really big town like this, which is full of so much talent.
Yeah.
And the competition is so high. You just don't expect anything like that. And I've been really embraced and really welcomed. And I've been here nearly 2 years. 2 years in May. So I'm extremely grateful. But yeah, one of the best decisions I ever made was coming here, I think.
It's so great. I mean, as a songwriter, it's kind of the way that I describe Nashville is, Nashville is a bit like Hollywood was back in the sort of 1940s. If you wanted to be an actor, then you had to go to Hollywood. You couldn't do it in Des Moines or, you know, Boise or anything like that.
You could, but
it
may not work.
It would be
very
slightly
good.
different though. But if you wanted to make it in Hollywood, you had
Yeah.
to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And Nashville still is a bit like that. If you want to make it in country music, you kind of have to be here to do it.
I think that's definitely true. I mean, you know, the proof's in the pudding. Keith Urban, you know, all
Yeah.
these different people that have left and come here from Australia's side of it, from the UK side of it, similar thing. It feels like this is the place where it really, I think you kind of become your best version of yourself because you're working with so many amazing people. It's impossible to just get worse. You have to, you have to up your game. And for me, as a songwriter, as a performer, all of those things, it has done that. And of course, I mean, being in the UK was incredible.
Yeah.
And I really got to cut my teeth. You know, I started on the ground, you know, busking literally on the ground zero kind of, and worked my way up to venues and clubs and festivals. And I mean, you know the story, but all of that was really amazing to help me learn to be a performer.
Yeah.
And then coming here has really taught me how to be a songwriter, and putting those things together is just like, it's all starting to come together, you know, and it's an amazing journey and an amazing experience. I'm extremely grateful.
That's so great. And quite the performer she is. I don't know if you follow Zoe on social media, but you gave the performance of a lifetime the other day at the Bridgestone Arena during a hockey match. Ice hockey, for those that don't know the Bridgestone. How did that? How? Just how?
A friend of a friend called me. It was one of those, you know, random things. I got the notice 2 weeks before the gig. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, they're like, can you do it?
Yeah.
You know, we're like last minute kind of looking for someone to do it. Would you do it? Like, we've heard so many good things. And apparently people have been recommending me to do it. And I was like,
This is
really?
awesome.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, of course I'll do it. I had no band. I didn't have any idea of the songs. I'm in the studio recording brand new stuff. So, like, my brain's completely elsewhere from performing at this point. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And so I ended up reaching out to some friends because my band's not here. And so I reached out to some friends and ended up booking Megan Maroney's band. they were in town and they were available
you
to
do.
do it. And I'm like,
This
is
is why being in
amazing.
Nashville is important, you see. You know, if your band isn't here, you can just borrow somebody
You
else's.
just borrow someone else's. And they were so sweet. And like, you know, it was all set to do it and stuff. Well, day before the gig, before Bridgestone, Megan had something come up and they had to do that with her.
Oh.
And I was without a band and I'm freaking out. This is 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm just going to do a cappella. It'll be fine.
I thought that. I'm like, I could just do an acoustic. It'll be fine. Like, nobody's going to, like, no one does that over there. But I ended up managing somehow, got another band together. That's just Nashville for you, though.
Yeah.
And someone called someone else, and then I had a band by 6 o'clock that night. Found out at 5 o'clock, had a band by 6 o'clock. Rehearsed.
Wow.
Virtually. We
Yeah.
wasn't able to get together because it was like midnight when they were rehearsing. So they were all up till like midnight, 1 o'clock, putting, you know, getting their tracks learned and everything. And then, we had the show that night. And it was crazy. So no one had actually been in the room and actually rehearsed together. And we ended up going out on Bridgestone and playing. And it was fantastic. And I played a brand new song that I hadn't actually even played before at the show, which went down fantastic. But yeah,
Great.
I mean, that's just the wonderful thing about Nashville is that you can make that sort of stuff
Yeah.
happen. And I don't know where else you could do that, you know.
No.
But yeah, getting to play that show was insane, and that audience was just
Amazing.
incredible. And they're diehard hockey fans, and just
It's a
amazing.
good rowdy crowd, isn't it?
It was so fun. They gave me my own jersey.
I was so
happy. I was like a kid in a candy
so
store.
cute.
It has my name on it. It has my favorite number
This
on it.
is so
My lucky
cute.
number. I was like, I'm never taking this off ever. It's got my number 4 on it. And I think I've worn it probably for about 2 or 3 days afterwards
I
straight.
love this. That's so
I just
awesome.
loved it so much. It was great. It was so much fun.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about the new single. The new single is out at the moment. It is called Jackie. So I have to ask, who's Jackie? And,
Jackie?
And what, you can get Natalie to rhyme with something? I mean...
Natalie? To Natalie,
I
come
couldn't.
over there. Yeah, that works. I
mean,
like
it kind of
that.
works, but...
I should have done that. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. It's
You know, it was
absolutely
for
fine.
discretion purposes. I just changed the name. It really is
course.
actually about you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the song.
You know, kind of as you do sometimes when you go through a heartbreak, you find yourself kind of like crying on the kitchen floor and just kind of hoping to make it through the tough times. And my friend was there to help me through this particular experience. And that became the inspiration for this song. So Jackie is, I guess, a couple of people put together. But it's the part of your best friend that's there for you no matter what when you're going through absolute chaos and you just need like a bucket of ice cream and like a bottle of wine to just help you through. That's Jackie, and vice versa. You know, you being there for them when they need you the most. So it's like a love letter to your best friend.
I love that though, because a lot of country music songs are about. We have a lot of songs about heartbreak, obviously. Country music is, you know, known for it. That and drinking songs. But so the heartbreak songs are usually just kind of like, oh, I'm so depressed and you broke my heart and I don't know what to do.
Right.
This is such a nice kind of like, here's what you do if this happens. You have a friend, you know.
have a friend and you eat ice cream and drink wine on the couch and like tell stories and help
Yeah.
each other through it. And that's kind of what it is, you know. And I think at some point we all need that person and someone else that we know needs that person, you know. So being that for someone and then having someone be that for you is what Jackie's all about.
I think everyone can literally relate to this song. The girls are just all nodding at yes, yes, we've all been there, and yes, we have.
It's been so fun playing that out because I've had so many people at the end come up to me and be like, that's us. Like the
Right.
best friends are standing in the audience like, that was us, that's our song, that's our new anthem. And it's like, wow, you know, you don't realize until you put something out into the world just how many people it's going to affect in a hopefully a good way. And so far this has, and it's been really beautiful. The
That's so
reception's been
great.
fantastic.
Awesome. It's a great song.
Thank you.
You're in the studio at the moment doing a ton of writing and, you know, exciting times.
Exciting times. You know, that's the wonderful thing about Nashville too, is that you can never have enough songs and there's always someone else ready to like, let's write one. You know, you can just be hanging out just casually with your friends and they'll be like, let's go write a song, you know, because why not? You just,
I would like to, none of my friends ask me to do that, but I think that's because they know my forte is not songwriting. But yes, I think...
You never know.
But
You never
Nashville
know.
is like, you're right, it's that sort of place where you are friends with musicians, you're friends with other songwriters, and so it's bound to happen, right? It feels like a creativity kind of melting pot here.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And I think it's a very healthy place to be if you are that way and that way inclined.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've lived in a few places, obviously. I've been a really lucky person in that sense, getting to see a bit of the world, but I've never felt quite as embraced and understood as I am here, because everyone is in the same mindset. You know, everyone's creating and writing and working towards a similar goal. And so, you know, when you tell someone like, oh, you know, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, I write songs, or I'm an artist. They're like, really? Well, how does that work? But when you're here, it's like, oh yeah, well, let's go write one, you know, and that's just that different kind of understanding, and you just feel extremely welcomed here. And that, I think, in turn, fuels you to continue to create and be better and just work towards always being your best self, which is a great thing. So,
that's great. If you could give a piece of advice then to somebody who was thinking of taking that plunge, the leap of faith of, I want to be a songwriter, I want to be a musician, I'm going to go to Nashville and do it. What's the best piece of advice you think you could give somebody? Other than maybe turn up with £1 million in your back pocket just in case.
That helps. I didn't have that, but
Nashville
that does
house
help.
prices are ridiculous, by the way. So
They are a little expensive, not going to lie. So yeah, definitely be prepared for that.
But what advice would you kind of pass on to sort of, you know, people who are thinking of doing something like this?
I think I would probably say one of the best things I got told was to be a good hang. You know, and just be a really fun person, because people want to work with their friends here, you know, and that's a big part of the atmosphere. And why wouldn't you want to work with your friends? Because, I mean, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it with people that you love, you know what I mean? So being a really good hang and just dedicating yourself to being the best person and best version of yourself you can be. I think that's probably the best thing. And really work hard at your craft, you know, don't just kind of just give it a little bit. Give it your best. Try your hardest, and that will shine. That will, you know, that will come to light. I really believe that.
Oh, I love that. Well, you are shining.
Oh.
Your star is shining ever brighter every day. So best of luck with everything. It is so wonderful to see you. And let's not leave it so long next time.
Please, no.
Thanks for coming in.